Welcome you, yes, you, with the headphones in your ears or playing this on your boombox.
Totally. I was going to say the pods in your ear.
Mmm.
What's up, everybody?
Welcome to Explorigonian's Travel Misadventures podcast. I'm your co-host, Jordan.
And I'm Katie.
And we're a couple. We've done a bunch of travel, and we are here to tell you about some of the shenanigans we've been into. Good, bad, and different.
Our opinions.
Yeah, so good. Everyone loves an opinion.
Everyone loves an opinion.
This week, we are going to a place that is near to our home that we have mixed opinions on, and we definitely talked it out in this episode. So I feel like a begrudging respect for this town now.
Yeah, we're going to Cannon Beach, Oregon.
You're going to find out why it's called Cannon Beach and why maybe you shouldn't just call it Cannon.
You're also going to find out about Haystack Rock.
So much, and a program that they have had since the 80s that is really special and that I'd like to see incorporated statewide. All that and more on this week's super cool episode, and definitely an episode where we left at intermission at a community theater play of Explorigonians. Whoop. Load up your cannon and fire it off.
Wow.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Cannon Beach. Time for you to go now. Da, na, 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 na.
Are you threatening Cannon Beach? Because it was actually destroyed in an M. Night Shyamalan movie.
What?
Do you have beef with the beach, Cannon Beef?
I would say historically, yes.
Dang, why? Is it because of your Manzanita connections? Because there's like some like weird rivalry there?
I don't think that there's a rivalry, but there's definitely...
Cannon Beach would definitely say there's no rivalry. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. I think Cannon Beach thinks it's better.
Do you actually think that, or is it just like...
I think it's not... No. Excuse, I'm going to back it up. Okay. I don't think Cannon Beach thinks that it's better. I think people that go to Cannon Beach think that they are better and that Cannon Beach is better.
I'm going to say the weird irony, though, with Cannon Beach is that it has started to open up... Like, it's been like an outlet for other shops or things that are like iconic to Manzanita. They've always opened up like a secondary location in Cannon Beach.
There's a lot of repeats going on.
But usually they start in Manzanita.
Okay.
Usually.
I mean, we're not talking about Manzanita. We're
I'm sorry,
only talking about
they're so close.
Cannon Beach. And you know what killed it for me?
What?
This is like, I don't know, 15 years ago.
Ooh.
I'm working somewhere else, not in Cannon Beach.
Are you working in Manzanita?
Stop talking about Manzanita.
Manzanita.
Anyway, and so I'm working and somebody's like, oh yeah, we're staying in Cannon. And I
then
was like,
you felt the vomit kind of come up?
And then, I don't know, it was just everything that followed. And then, obviously, all the cool kids just call it Cannon.
I dislike calling it Cannon. Well, I will say most of the time you can omit the beach word.
Yeah.
Because like Rockaway.
Totally. We don't say Rockaway Beach.
Rockaway Beach. But there is something egregious about hearing just Cannon.
And isn't it also just depending on how you say it? Like, oh, Cannon, or like, Cannon.
Do you feel like we're getting into some like weird like coastal class warfare? Because I do feel like on the Oregon coast there is a spectrum.
Oh, that's true. I mean, we're like super ritzy, super impoverished, and everything in between.
It's beautiful. Well,
it's a beautiful mix.
When I think of a beach, I was surprised when I finally went to Cannon Beach because I never went growing up. Well, again, it's an hour away.
When did you go for the first time?
With you. No, that's not true.
Nuh-uh.
Not with you.
Wow.
Okay,
rude.
I would say
the
first time like really taking it in was with you. The first time was probably 2011, 2012 with our friend Leah, because she was helping out with the local community theater in Tillamook, and there was like some exchange going on of like borrowing props and costumes.
But when you say theater, you're not talking about a movie theater.
I'm talking about a community theater.
Well, let's also talk about like the size of Cannon Beach. That's pretty small. I mean, what's the population? 1,000, maybe?
I read that it's like the census. I couldn't find 2020 census, but in 2010, it was like 1,1600, which seems like a lot for...
Full time?
I don't know.
Well, I will say, I do think more people live in Cannon Beach full time than Manzanita.
Dude, for the last time, Katie, we are not talking about Manzanita. So
Oh my gosh.
get that town's name out of your mouth.
Lo Santo.
Okay, I want to backtrack to just the name, Cannon Beach. So that name, and I think it is special to call it Cannon Beach and not just call it Cannon, because do you know why it's called Cannon Beach?
Cannon?
Cannon.
No.
So it had like a different name a long time ago in the 1800s. I don't know if it was called Eola. There was some, I don't know, I found different things. Not E. cola, Eola. This is just something I read. But apparently there was this ship called the USS Shark. And maybe it's like history was like, it fought the slave trade and it fought pirates. And it had like this storied history. Somehow it's on the West Coast.
Sure.
And then it gets battered by like the Columbia Bar, which is one of the most dangerous bars in the world, which is the mouth of the Columbia River to the Pacific Ocean. So north, like, I don't know, 20 miles north of Cannon Beach. So something happened to this ship. It sunk. I think everyone survived, but in the like collapse of the ship, like all of its cannons fell out.
Oh.
So over the course of like 150 years or something, these cannons would just like wash up, or they would be like revealed on the beach. And so I think the first sighting, okay, so maybe the ship sank in 1846, and then in 1891 someone living in Cannon Beach was like, we're gonna call it Cannon Beach because these cannons just show up from out of the beach.
Okay, well, where are these cannons that washed up?
Well, there's apparently one on display at a museum that we have never been to.
In Cannon Beach?
Thank you so much. The CB. Breaker. So in, I don't know, like the late 1800s, like 1898 or something, like one of the cannons emerged and was like, I don't know if they left it or they took it. I don't know if it's like a Peter Airedale situation where you just like let it rot. But then in 2008, two more popped up.
Oh.
So I was like, whoa. So are there more cannons?
Oh my God.
So should it be called Cannons Beach and not Cannon Beach? Kind of like attorneys general?
We could go petition at like city council.
Okay, yeah.
Well, that's kind of exciting. It makes me want to go to Cannon Beach to see if there's any cannons. It's kind of like how the Oregon coast, like different towns have the like little glass balls that they
That wash up the Japanese floats?
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah, you know.
Well, but
the
then
Cannon Beach has cannons.
But in Lincoln City, I mean, they make them and hide them.
Yeah,
I've never seen.
yeah.
Have you ever found like a glass float?
No.
I think my aunt and uncle had a bunch of them, just like that kind of like blue-green sea glass kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think they just had a bunch like in the house. And iguanas. It was both.
Oh, well, that's a perfect combo.
Yeah, iguanas and glass balls.
Okay.
Okay, so what is your relationship with Cannon Beach?
My relationship with Cannon Beach, like you, I was not hanging out there as a kid. I don't even think it was really on my radar.
Did you know it was a thing?
I think I knew that my cousins, I have relatives that were homeschooled, and they were going to a Bible college in Cannon Beach. I was like, what
That
is
Bible
that?
college, I looked it up, not accredited. It's not an accredited school.
Yeah. Is that it? Okay.
That's my one fact.
Great. So that is there in this little town. And I mean, that's all I knew. And I knew that my cousins found their wives at this school.
Okay.
But
your cousins, like, it was two brothers who married two
sisters. Yes. Okay. So
and only 50% of those marriages have lasted. Womp womp.
Whoa. But I do have another memory being, I don't know how young I was, maybe in grade school still, but I don't know, it was like a doctor that my mom had here, but somebody at some point told my mom to go get acupuncture in Cannon Beach. And so little Katie's go into Cannon Beach, and then all of a sudden I feel like we're seeing this like naturopath, or maybe she just has Chinese medicine. I don't know. But I know that at some point we were taking like algae pills or...
All right, before it was cool.
I mean, I don't know. It was like everyone else is eating what? Like the little chewy granola bars, like good stuff.
Oh, you mean like the brand Chewy?
You know what I'm talking about.
Hey, we don't do free pub
or
on
like
this.
Nutri-Grain or, something like that.
Nutri-Grain just like it turned into confetti when you
You know, my
opened it.
dad's like, here, have this algae bar. And I was like, oh, man.
I love that hippie tendency of your dad. He allegedly had like one of the first Vitamixes that came out. And like when we got a Vitamix, again, not free pub, he was like, Vitamix. And like the one from the 70s that he had like broke down. But I was like, this one's fine.
Yeah, I don't know. He like lived in a teepee and who knows. So
Yeah.
anyway, that is what Cannon Beach, like my early memories of Cannon Beach is just that.
That's kind of nice that like your earliest memories of Cannon Beach isn't like the ritzy, pompous side that Cannon Beach can be.
No, I think it's just like beautiful and like, I mean, it is like alternative, but then you have that like Christian base.
Do you think that really
thing
is
happening.
like a Christian base? I mean, I know that I think a lot of those.
I think that they're just like coexisting.
Right. I was really surprised when I found out there was a Bible college hanging out there, and like one of our friends went. He didn't find a partner. I wonder if he got his money back.
But going back to like, right, the small community has this community theater. So
Right. So that was my intro to Cannon Beach because I had never been. I didn't even know what it was. I had no idea. Again, like my world when I was growing up in this place, partly because like I grew up fairly poor, like childhood poverty, like single mom, stuff like that. It's like my world extended about 15 miles north of Tillamook to about Rockaway. Not much further. I mean, the distance between Rockaway and Wheeler may have been from like the Shire to Mordor. It was like, you do not cross this boundary.
right.
And then south to like Newport. So, I mean, that was my world.
But you know, this is also before smartphones and, you know, just
Right.
like how accessible traveling is now.
And we didn't even have a map like
Right.
in the house. Like I couldn't even like study a map of Oregon. But so yeah, we went. So knowing that there was like this, you know, fairly well regarded community theater up in Cannon Beach, my friend and I like went up there, and I was just like mesmerized because in this moment, like I'm on my way to be a Broadway star in my head. And so just like being there and being like, wow, a theater was like really cool. And then I think we went to Moe's and had chowder.
This is after you graduated high school?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes, so nice. I think it might have been, I mean, it was some point during my university days.
Yeah. I feel like Cannon Beach it's like a really cute, walkable downtown. And sure, there are a lot of repeat businesses now, but I think that is it's a bigger conversation about just like downtowns in general and like people supporting.
Homogenization.
Right. And like, you know, supporting small businesses and like, I mean, yeah, there's a reason why chains survive, but I do think Cannon Beach has gone out of their way to like petition against like keeping big chain stores. You know, there's not a McDonald's in Cannon Beach or anything
how
like
am I
that.
gonna eat in Cannon Beach?
I mean,
Well,
that's nice.
In Manzanita does
Stop
the same thing.
talking about Manzanita.
Well, it is weird. I mean, these two towns. I mean, how far away is Manzanita from Cannon Beach? Like a half hour, if that. And they are very similar. But Cannon Beach versus Manzanita. Manzanita. Well, I mean, in terms of like, okay, you're giving me a face.
In terms of what?
But you're right. Like, okay, I take it back. They are dissimilar. They offer two very different things. Like Manzanita, way quieter.
I mean, but
way more
Manzanita's
rustic.
gone through a lot of shifts recently also. You know, and I think there is that widening gap of, you know what they say, the rich get richer, the poor get poorer. You know, there is that feels so like in my face now. But see, when I lived in Manzanita, what I loved about it is it was like down the hill, just like this stretch of.
You mean just Lanita and Manzanita, like those?
Yeah, and it was just kind of like mom and pop shops and like, oh, there's the ocean. And yeah, it was really nice. Cannon Beach is a little more spread out.
Yeah, I mean there's like three different exits into Cannon Beach from Highway 101.
There's like a lot of resorts. There's a lot of hotels. I mean,
Like very nice hotels.
Yes. I mean, that is a big like resort spa. I mean, like that is that the tourism for them, I mean, that is the heartbeat. I would say they're really reliant on tourism. And Manzanita is also, but it is different. Anyway, I do not want to talk about that place.
I know.
anymore.
So Cannon Beach. So it apparently Highway 101 used to go through Cannon Beach. And so it didn't used to be segregated from the highway itself. But there was maybe like this tsunami that happened in the 60s, this big earthquake that caused flooding that damaged part of the highway. And so they had to like move it east. And so at that point, you know, of course, if you're driving 101 and you see a sign for Cannon Beach, but you have no idea what it is or like what's in there. So I was surprised that, there are 3 exits to get to this place. Like, that's like crazy to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of the things that Cannon Beach did after that highway redistribution thing happened is that they created the sandcastle contest in the 60s. And so I guess that is what they did to like draw tourism back to town.
Which is a really fun idea. I mean, we've never gone.
We've never gone. It's always like around my birthday. I mean, it sounds like a cool thing.
I just think it's also this thing that we're like, ooh, driving in the summer. But yeah, it is too bad that we've never prioritized it. I don't know if they do anything to preserve the sandcastles, because obviously the tides are like coming in and out, or like where they do it.
I think they do it on the beach.
Good one.
But yeah, I imagine it's just one of those like beautiful pieces of like art that's like it's temporary, it's here for one moment and then it's gone the next. But I mean, there are some. I mean, you see pictures of it and you're like, how are you doing this? Like, I'm curious, like what the ratio is, like what's our cocktail of sand to water content to like make some of these.
Yeah, I mean, also I'd say Cannon Beach is a really artsy community. I think there's like several art galleries and things. I mean, so I don't know if it's like a lot of people that participate are just like local artists or if like people are coming from all over to show off their sandcastle talent.
Well, and if we know that like Cannon Beach is, Cannon is a destination for people. So I imagine it brings up a bunch of, talent from elsewhere to participate in these things.
I mean, right. Like Cannon Beach is like the place for people, for all the cool kids from Portland or Seattle to come and stay. But, I mean, a lot of people are interested in Cannon Beach, not just from there.
I mean, when I think of, like, destination beach towns, like, if you have kids, like, it's maybe Seaside, maybe Lincoln City, but, nothing, it all pales in comparison to Cannon Beach on the Oregon coast.
Well, so I'm sure that there's something there, too, like, making Cannon Beach your home base. It's like stay in Cannon Beach and then you could take a day trip to Seaside, and so you could go experience all the fun stuff for kids there, but then go back to Cannon Beach.
I don't know, when I'm in Cannon Beach, it does feel kind of theme parky. It doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel like a real community. Like, it definitely, like, you walk around, you're like, this feels like it was ripped out of something.
Totally. It's like, how many locals, I mean, we have a friend who lives in Cannon Beach. Do I think he has seen people, I mean, he also lived in Manzanita. And it's like,
he also lived in Oceanside. That guy.
I know. But, we're like, people in other communities. And I don't know that he's really built like a community in Cannon Beach. Because, that's the thing when you live in a community where so many of the homes are rentals. And so people are in and out all the time.
Mm-hmm. Well, then that just shows the importance of something like Cannon Beach's the Coaster Community Theater, is that getting involved with something. And so then you do have community. Because I think the Coaster, like the shows that we've seen, and I've seen other pictures from the Coaster Community Theater, there's like the same like handful of people that do like every show. You're like, hey, I saw that guy like 10 years ago in a play.
But then does he live in Cannon Beach, or is he coming from the surrounding areas?
I imagine they're in I probably like within driving distance. Like, I don't think a lot of people from like Portland. Well, but I don't know. I guess I got to interview somebody.
You know what community I like in Cannon Beach?
Tell me.
Is that herd of elk that just like constantly lingers. I don't know. I feel like the elk in Cannon Beach, it feels like so iconic.
They don't give a damn.
No, they don't. I feel like they're everywhere.
We've had to stop on Highway 101 for those elk.
Right. They're loud and proud. I mean, it is. So if you're really into elk, Cannon Beach could be the place for you.
Okay, so if you are a listener and you're like, I've heard of elk. I know of the great Ack from the Life and Adventures of Santa Claus stop motion. The great Ack.
What?
What is an elk? Like, if you're like trying to distinguish between an elk and a deer.
Oh, it's like a big rat. An elk.
An ROUS.
An elk is a bigger deer, smaller moose.
Oh, well, that's a nice combination.
I would say.
Okay, big deer, small moose. Very good.
What would you say?
I would say it's like, I don't know, if you took if they were Pokemon, deer would be the first level, and then it'd probably evolve into an elk, and then it'd evolve into a moose.
Wow.
They're like monsters. It's like a deer on steroids. And they are like rats because they just travel in packs and they just like break shit and they don't really care.
I know. They like to break fences and stuff, eat the grass. But, I mean, when we were in Yellowstone, I feel like we were like, the elk, so majestic. And so you and I are like sitting there taking pictures of the elk.
Right, and we're like, we have these at home. So something else about animals in Cannon Beach besides the tourists, the rabbits.
Oh, the rabbits.
So that's like a big thing in Cannon Beach is like, and it's similar with Pacific City. So I don't know. I guess some people dumped off their domesticated rabbits at some point in Cannon Beach and they just multiplied.
You know what? Well, speaking of rabbits, this year and this year only, you and I have all of a sudden we have rabbits at our house, and I don't know where they came from.
Well,
and
they're trying to get those eggs that I've been laying out.
Wow, we had one rabbit, and then it's never just one. And I think at one point I counted 5. So I don't know.
And now I think I've only seen one rabbit recently, so maybe we're back down to one, and maybe it'll asexually reproduce.
Probably, knowing rabbits.
Yeah, they just like pop one out, clone themselves.
I have a.
Oh, you have canon facts?
No, I have one canon fact from Wikipedia.
Oh, great.
And I was like, wow, this is a fact?
You
Sure.
just said it was a fact from Wikipedia.
This is a fact from
Cite
Wikipedia.
your sources.
And it says in 2013, National Geographic
magazine
named it, quote, one of the world's most
beautiful.
No. World's 100 most beautiful places. Wow.
Well, cannonbeach.com, the tourism
Oh, are
branch.
they also leaning into
yeah,
that?
they were very proud of their June 2013 award of being one of the they called it one of the world's most beautiful places on a list of 100 best beautiful whatever.
Yeah, great.
You know,
great.
just like Ashland, which is like Ashland was like, one of the 150 best places to be.
It's nice to be recognized. I do think Cannon Beach is beautiful. I think the beaches
Because it's a
there.
theme park.
I don't mean like the town. I just mean like the beaches there. There is the iconic, most beautiful big rock called Haystack Rock.
And it just frustrates me that people love that one more when the one in Pacific City is like 100 feet bigger and it's a mile out in the ocean. And I love that one because it's our it's our home county, Haystack Rock. I just wish they didn't call them both Haystack Rock because it gets very confusing.
Well, right.
When I worked in Pacific City, people would be like, so am I in Cannon Beach? And I was like, dude, no.
Oregon's not perfect. We have some quirks, and I'm going to say that's one of them. Right, like, because we are, like, kind of sandwiched in between these two haystack rocks. Like,
We're in the middle of two haystacks.
Yeah, it is bizarre.
But then we have, like, the 3 arch rocks in Oceanside, and those aren't a type of haystack rock. Anyway, the haystack rocks are apparently made from, like, lava flows out of, like, the Columbia Basin, like, millions of years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. Fun fact for you.
Well, you know what else? When I think about, like, Haystack Rock.
Which one?
Sorry. Well, we are talking about Cannon Beach, so naturally I'm talking about Haystack Rock in Cannon Beach. It was, like, in the news.
I just don't want Pacific City Haystack Rock erasure, okay?
Great.
Okay, so it was in the news.
It was in the news, like, the past year or two. I feel like there's been a lot of action. Like, somebody was walking, maybe, like, an octopus grabbed her ankle.
Oh, yeah.
You remember that?
Getting friendly.
Yeah, and I feel like apparently it was a really cool experience. But then I think there was like a cougar on Haystack Rock. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I feel like it was like trapped. And the cougar was like, how did I get up here, guys?
Like the tide came in. Anyway, so I feel like there's a lot of wildlife in Cannon Beach.
I appreciate Haystack Rock. I have a saltiness toward it because when I was working for the Tillamook County newspaper, Travel Oregon wanted to, Oregon's tourism branch wanted to commission a mural in downtown Tillamook, which again, Tillamook, just to remember, we're about a half hour north of Pacific City and their Haystack Rock, and we're about an hour south of Cannon Beach and their Haystack Rock. So I go to a city council meeting, and Travel Oregon has proposed a mural of
Haystack Rock.
But not the one in Tillamook County. They proposed it of Cannon Beach. And the whole picture, like the painting that they had proposed, I mean, it just looked like Cannon Beach. Like it was their coastline. It was their rocks. And I remember one of the council members who was our, like, high school government teacher practicing what he preaches because he was a council member.
He was back then?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
I didn't think he'd been doing it that long.
Good
Anyway.
job, Brian. So he was like, yeah, this probably shouldn't fly here, but if we change these rocks to like 3 arch rocks or even Pacific City's Haystack Rock, it's a go. Like we can do it. And then lo and behold, I guess that really ticked off Travel Oregon. No mural was ever made.
I know. I do feel like Tillamook's murals are lacking.
The mural game locally is awful.
But I think, maybe Travel Oregon's plan was just another ad for Cannon Beach because as we've
Right.
talked about, there's so many hotels, there's so many places for people to stay.
It's
And
like,
they're
well, why
like,
would we advertise another beach town in this state?
yeah.
It was offensive to me. It was like, you're not going
I
to
remember.
use our local real estate to promote this other place because it's not even going to affect. Like, I don't know if like their money will go, it would go to Clatsop County anyway if we supported them.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I do appreciate a lot of things that Cannon Beach does in regards to Haystack Rock. However, there's apparently their Haystack Rock is home to like the closest colony of tufted puffins.
Oh, puffins?
Tufted puffins in the Northwest. And apparently you have easy access to them just because of how Haystack Rock is literally on the beach. Like it's not a mile away.
Right.
It's on the
Right.
beach. And so people are able to like analyze them, check them out.
Isn't that a great name?
A puffin. Yeah.
Oh, it reminds me of the magnet that my family has had on the door for like 100 years. And now I have it on our fridge. What's it say?
I think it says no, it's an anti-cigarette smoking
Yeah, it just
ad.
says no puffin.
So, the tufted puffins are there from April to July. So I think we may have missed them this year.
Rude.
I don't know if I've ever really seen a puffin in the wild.
Well, clearly we don't hang out in Cannon Beach.
I don't like it when you go, Cannon.
Cannon.
But yeah, I think the tufted puffins are beautiful animals. It's really cool that they're there. But that Haystack Rock is a part of the Oregon Islands National Wildlife Refuge. And I was like, that's a cool name. I'm curious what else it's preserving. And so also around Haystack Rock, because it's so easily like accessible to people,
Mhm.
it's a state protected marine environment. So you can't remove, I think it's like 300 feet or 300 yards, like within like the boundaries of Haystack Rock. You can't remove any animals. You can't like take barnacles or mussels or anything, which is really nice.
Yeah. I mean, I think Cannon Beach has done a good job of preserving. I mean, there's a reason it's popular, right?
Right.
I mean, it is beautiful.
But something that I would do press releases for, and I would just see a lot of this information come across my desk when I was at the newspaper, was a part of the Haystack Rock Awareness Program. Are you aware of the Haystack Rock Awareness Program?
I am not. Is it teaching people to not climb Haystack Rock?
I mean, that's probably part of it, but apparently you are not allowed to like touch or go on any part of Haystack Rock above the barnacle line, is what I had read. So that cougar was in direct violation of the Oregon of state protected marine environment.
Classic cougar.
So every year from mid-February to October, they have a volunteer there every single low tide to either have like an animal that they can display. Like, I don't know if they have like organisms that they can check out. They have microscopes. These volunteers will tell you about Haystack Rock and about other facts about like the animals around.
Do you think they're coming from the state park?
No, it's just volunteers. I think in the 80s they started this thing. And it's like, why isn't the rest
Right,
of the
right.
state doing stuff
Right.
like this?
What a great idea. Because it's like the Oregon coast is a beautiful wonderland, but I mean, there's so many deaths that happen, and like we do not educate people enough. And yeah, like people are excited to be here, and they want to like, they want to play, they want to have fun, but they want to learn. And what a great idea.
Yeah, it's really cool. And the fact that it started in the 80s, but yeah, volunteer only, which, I do think kind of goes into the fact that Cannon Beach was probably more of like a retirement place for a lot of people. And so, oftentimes with retired people, it's like, oh, I got to fill my time somehow. And so then people start to volunteer more. And so, yeah, they have over 100 volunteers that do this. And it made me
Yeah.
jealous. But I'm also like, some of those high tides are in like crazy times of the day. So I'm like, are they actually there at every single low tide? Like a 4 a.m. low tide? Are they going to like hang out?
Maybe. Wouldn't that be cool?
But yeah, so they're there. They'll help you like, spot animals that are on like Haystack Rock and the surrounding areas. They'll point out, if they see like a sea star feeding, they'll point that out.
Yeah. Awesome.
But yeah, again, with like the dangers of the Oregon coast also, it's like people need to understand like the Oregon coast isn't like these these beaches you'd see in California where there's like lifeguard stations. Like there's nothing.
Right. You're definitely on your own. And it's like, right. And I think if you've never been here, like you don't know that. Like if you're from a place where, right, like the water is more like, like the ocean's a little more mild or right, like there's lifeguards around. I mean, it's dangerous, people.
So I want to talk about one of our like first dates in Cannon Beach. I fished out the journal that I kept when we were first playing Let's
hang out.
Let's
cool.
hang out. Yeah.
Okay.
So I had written about this time in April. So it was like very early on in like whatever this turned into.
Mm-hmm.
And that, we ended up in Cannon Beach. We bought some cheap boxed wine from the store, went and cuddled on the beach.
I remember that.
Watched the sunset and watched some surfers and met Thunder the dog.
I also remember Thunder.
This freaking
Like,
dumb lab.
I thought it was like a golden retriever.
Okay, same idea.
Okay.
Just like, hey!
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, his name tag on his collar, Thunder.
So Thunder came up to us. I don't know. Thunder eventually left, I assume, found his way back home.
Yeah. But in this, I also talked about our bathroom shenanigans that we had.
Oh.
Yeah, we need some private time with each other. And I guess we were in the women's restroom.
Oh, we definitely were.
Because I had written that there was we had a next door neighbor that showed up, and you just couldn't control yourself. You couldn't stop laughing hysterically because I bet you were uncomfortable.
You bet I was uncomfortable? You know
Just
I
this,
was
like,
uncomfortable.
ridiculous thing that had happened.
Oh my God.
Anyway, so then I'm going to pull verbatim this last piece. So then we eventually went and had dinner, and we went to a restaurant that's been there. It's been there for the past 10 years. It's been there a long time. It's just, I'm surprised when some of these businesses last as long as they do. You're like, oh, wow. Well, I guess they're doing something right. So I had written, quote, I had an incredible and world-rocking meal chat with Katie and fell even further in love.
Aww.
Wow.
Meal chat.
A meal chat. Well, at first I thought I just said world-rocking meal, and I was like, damn, Jordan. But it was like, I think the first time we ever shared a plate.
Yeah.
And that was like, that's become such a big thing for you and I. Is like, if we go out to dinner, like we'll be like, oh, we couldn't possibly have two things. Like, let's like share one thing. And then we get more things, get more appetizers or dessert.
Sharing is caring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it just, sharing, there's always room for dessert now.
But I guess we had some really good conversations because I literally wrote world-rocking meal chat. What did you say to me? Or what did I say to you?
Probably some pretty good stuff.
I guess so. I guess we had a really good time.
Still are.
Well, around that area, too, there is a big old whale sculpture. Do you remember this?
Yeah. Does it have to do with, like, the blubber in Lewis and Clark?
It sure does.
But it's like, I was trying to remember where. Like, I feel like I've definitely seen it, but, like, I can't quite visualize it.
So they have a statue that commemorates when, the Corps of Discovery and Clark, I guess he left Lewis at home.
Yeah,
At home to tend to
sure.
the children. So Clark's gallivanting around. I guess he takes Sacagawea, however you want to pronounce her name, because I guess we never know how to pronounce her name. So those two found, I think it was the Tillamook people, because they were like some of the settlers of this area at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But they had stumbled upon these people in what is now Cannon Beach, and they, I guess, successfully bartered for 300 pounds of whale blubber and some like whale oil that these people had made. And so it was like, I guess, a statue to commemorate a successful trade agreement. I hope they didn't like give them the short end of the stick and they did like, they traded something real good. Because they don't say what Clark gave to them.
Mm-hmm.
Probably smallpox.
Hopefully not.
Well, I'd like to tell you more about things about downtown Cannon Beach. Did you know that that main drag in Cannon Beach is like Hemlock, but so that's like a north-south road in like the downtown of Cannon Beach.
We went to a spa on the main drag.
We did, and then we
I.
got chocolates afterwards. Like they treated us like truffles in an art gallery. I was like, oh, every massage comes with a truffle.
Wow, I don't remember that.
Yeah, and they were fine. Okay, so the streets in Cannon Beach, in Hemlock, in downtown, from north to south, going east to west, those roads are in order names of presidents.
Oh.
So they go from President George Washington, they go all the way down to Harrison. And so it's like, Washington, Adams, Jefferson, Madison, Monroe, those ones. But they skipped John Quincy Adams.
Dang.
So they were like, we can't have 2 streets called Adams, which I thought was kind of rude to John Quincy Adams. We could have called it Quincy.
Dang.
And they skipped, if Harrison can get one, John Quincy Adams was empirically a better president.
Well, that's too bad.
Poor John. Just like his daddy is Cannon Beach's Haystack, and he is Pacific City Haystack.
I feel like another thing we can bring up at the city council.
Yep.
I was just like, oh yeah, because I was like, we haven't really hung out in Cannon Beach that much, but I'm like, no, we have.
We've hung out a decent amount.
Just not at the Sandcastle thing. We've never been there for the 4th of July parade that they do.
I know, but it's like borderline gridlock on the Oregon coast.
Yeah. But again, our friend that lives there, we got some pics. We've seen the Cannon Beach parade.
It looked fun.
It did look fun. I think that there's some good energy, but they apparently have like outlawed. There is no fireworks in Cannon Beach. So if you're anti-fireworks, or if you have an animal that can't handle the fireworks, it's like Cannon Beach could be a good place for you to hang out during that.
Okay, with that massage, I think that massage also happened on like a hot day, because I remember like we had walked to the beach, because we very rarely spend time on the beach of Cannon Beach.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember we walked to the beach thinking that we would go on the beach, and then it was just swarming with people. Like we felt we were like in Santa Monica or something. Like there were so many people, and we saw bathing suits, and I clutched my pearls and I was like, that's too much skin on the Oregon coast.
I know. It is weird when you see people in swimsuits and you're like, I don't know.
What are you going to do with that?
We're not that kind of beach.
It's just weird. But also, we have so many beautiful like world-class beaches. Again, I've said it before, like a 7-minute drive, and we could be like one of the most beautiful places on Earth. And it's like, yeah, Cannon Beach is also a beach, but I like the ones that we go to better.
I'm just so stuck up.
I know.
And maybe we need to embrace the swimsuit life. Okay, just put our suits on and
like today, it's quite mild today. I don't know if it works. Okay, I want to talk about other things that we've done in Cannon Beach. So like we spent our first wedding anniversary not in Cannon Beach, but near Cannon Beach. And I took you to the Coaster Theater's production of Once Upon a Mattress there, and your parents.
Yeah, well, my parents decided they were coming up too, and like we're gonna go to dinner with us. And then we went to watch the show, which I had never seen before, and I thought it was a really fun.
It was
fun.
It was a really fun production. It was really good. I think we still quote it sometimes, some of the songs and the ways the performers did some things.
Yeah, I think that it exceeded my expectations, and I thought this is impressive and like nice that it's available in Cannon Beach. And yeah, if you were staying there, like to be able to go to a fun production.
I mean, anytime that we visit a place and we find out that they have like some quirky theater type production, like we're sold. I think it says a lot about the flavor of a community when it has some sort of like performance arts in that way.
Well, even like I think the theater's cute, but even like outside, it's like kind of wooden.
Right, and it has like a boardwalk almost.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's definitely a lot of like cute pockets, I think, of Cannon Beach and like what is going on there. I mean, I know you don't want to do free pub, but I will say I think the little IGA there is.
I mean, it is cute.
Grocery store is pretty cute.
We got a funky jug of water that we had for years, and we used it for our dog water.
A funky jug of water.
Yeah, it was like a gallon of water, but it had this funky handle that I loved.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, reduce, reuse.
Recycle.
I don't know where it went, though, so I guess we reused it until it vanished, into the ether.
It might show up.
It became one with the Force, like Obi-Wan.
Hmm.
Talking about just the cuteness and the quaintness and that theme parkiness of Cannon Beach is like, I think there is kind of like a standardization of how all the buildings and all like the shop facades kind of look. It all kind of has this like cedar shake kind of look about it.
Mm-hmm. But even like, because it is long, like Jordan already referenced the 3 exits, or is it 4? I don't know.
It has some amount.
All right, it's at least 3. But, if you drive that whole way and you're not on the highway, there's kind of like windy. There's some crazy corners, narrow roads. But, I mean, it's also really green. So it's like you can have views of the beach and the ocean, sometimes Haystack Rock, but I feel like it's also really, you know what I'm talking about? Like it's like big trees and it's like
Yeah.
very like, you know, the forest comes all the way to the ocean type
It's
situation.
wild and rustic in a sense.
Yeah. I mean, so I think there's a lot of like natural beauty going on.
Our friend who lives in Cannon Beach, he tells us to do like illegal maneuvers on the highway to get to his place. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I'll just drive through the town. He's like, no, you want to bypass the town. You're not doing a U. You're just pulling into this other thing across the
He
street.
just wants us to get pulled over.
Maybe. He's a sick man. Okay, back to the Coaster Theater. We had a really good time there. I thought about auditioning for Spam-A-Lot in early 2020 when they were going to have auditions for that, because that is a hilarious musical based off Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Shocker, the pandemic happened. Everything got canceled. So we never got to do it. Probably a blessing in disguise, because based on the community theater play we are currently in, can you imagine if we had to do a 2-hour back and forth trip?
I know. It would have been a lot.
It would have been a lot. But we got wrangled into with our friend who lives in Cannon Beach. He was hosting his friend who lives in Hawaii.
Oh.
They were like, oh, do you want to go see a Robin Hood play? And we'd already seen a children's theater Robin Hood play with our friends at the Silverton, Oregon community, like children's theater. And it was maybe a 4-act play. Like, it felt Shakespearean in its length. It was too much. And I think after the second act, we left. I was like, I don't care how this ends. I just want it to end.
Oh, yeah. It was a little much. So we were excited. I was really excited.
Yeah, we love Robin Hood.
I love the story of Robin Hood.
Especially love him when he's a fox.
Totally. Yeah. And so I was really excited to go again.
Why do you love the story of Robin Hood?
I don't know. I think, well, you know, injustice. I like a vigilante. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's something charming about Robin Hood and Little John.
Yeah, because Robin Hood's a little scamp.
Yeah. Anyway, what's not to love about Robin Hood?
Except the Cannon Beach,
Oh my
whatever
gosh.
play that they got their hands on was also a bad production. Why can't we have a good production, a good stage production of Robin Hood?
Maybe you and I need to do it.
Maybe.
Okay.
So we go. We're excited. We're happy to be there. It is. I feel like it's fairly full. It's like a crowded room to watch Robin Hood. We go to a matinee, and it's immediately horrible. There's like no sets. All they have is like a projector that's projecting like colors. Not even like, you know, a forest scene. It was just colors. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I just like it was off, and we're like not really sure. And I think maybe the casting was kind of like all over the place.
The casting
Just,
was really weird.
you know, and again, who knows? It's like, is this still like we're still recovering from COVID and like who auditioned? I don't know.
Because what was this 2023? Like summer 2023 that we
Maybe.
went and saw it?
Yeah.
Oof. Those poor people.
If you're listening to this and you were in it, I'm sorry.
And
But
I'd love to talk more about what happened with that production. and I'd love to know if Act 2 got any better, because as per usual, we left it intermission. Not because we wanted to.
no, but the people we were with, like she was like, I will pay you back for these tickets to get you to leave. And so then we exit, but then we see Little John smoking outside. I was like, Little John, what's going on?
And again, they weren't like adults. I mean, Little John looked like he probably maybe just graduated high school.
Maybe,
It was
yeah.
a young cast. And so to see Little John, you know, smoking a pack of Joe Camel, I was like, no, Little John. The play wasn't that
Aw.
stressful. But also one of the cardinal sins of this production was the lack of any sort of props. Their props were terrible because, remember,
forgot.
Maid Marian had to shoot an arrow, and instead of holding a bow, she just outstretched her arm and mimed pulling back a bowstring, and she went.
You know, it's fine.
It was
I
like
think
watching improv.
maybe we're just our expectations are too high. I think we might be the problem.
Maybe. Robin Hood, where's the realistic fight choreography?
But you know, it's great that Cannon Beach was doing it, and I'm sure people enjoyed it. It just wasn't for us.
It just wasn't.
You know what else? I remember when we like pulled on the little side street. I don't know, we're like parking by somebody's house, but like I feel like there's a lot of
Trees, roads, windy roads.
I don't know, like little paths down to the beach. I think
Right.
Rockaway Beach is like that too. But yeah, and that, you know, it's nice to have where the beaches feel a little more accessible.
Yeah.
But
I'm curious how many miles of coastline like Cannon Beach really has.
mhm.
Because again, like we said, we very rarely go to the beach. But there was a time where we went and met up with our Cannon Beach friend, and afterwards we went, like we just pulled over and we were like, let's just go walk on the beach. And it was kind of nice. It was a pleasant evening. I feel like the beach had like a lot of debris on it though. But it was cool to see Haystack Rock so close. Because again, I always kind of like keep it at arm's length. I'm like, oof, you're not my Haystack Rock.
Yeah, clearly you have a mental block with it.
I guess so.
And I didn't realize
well,
that.
and I'm like, I try not to cast. It sounds like I'm not doing a great job. I'm trying not to like cast judgment about my perceived like socioeconomic battle that I have with Cannon Beach.
Because, this is it. It's like our problem isn't Cannon Beach, the place. It's the people that it attracts. And I think.
But did we ever really have like negative experiences with, quote unquote, the people it attracts?
Right, totally. Like, not people when we are in Cannon Beach. That's not really.
Or is it just like an aloofness of like other people?
Or other people talking about Cannon Beach or talking about how much better Cannon Beach is than other places in Oregon.
They definitely start to like smack talk like other coastal towns. You're like, hey.
I think it's that. Yeah. And
be nice.
And it's like we can all coexist. It's like Cannon
Right.
Beach is beautiful and has much to offer, but so do a lot of other places. And I feel like that's part of, the reason we're doing this podcast is like to talk about that and like why we wanted to highlight places in Oregon is because, a lot of little communities have a lot going for it and
surprising things, like surprising depth to offer. Like even a place like Rockaway, like, there's not, quote unquote, like too much going on in Rockaway per se. But I think they've done a good job of trying to reveal some of the hidden gems in that community, which I'd love to talk about in a future episode.
yeah, not this episode.
I'm sorry. We're all connected on the same coastline of like 300 plus miles. We're all a part of this beautiful, beautiful Oregon coast.
And this beautiful Oregon story.
Great. Okay, transitioning also, I feel like Cannon Beach is also iconic across the state and probably across the country because it has been featured in many different films.
Not to mention so many magazines. I'm sure more than National Geographic.
I can't name a single other magazine besides National Geographic magazine. Ew, I gave her COVID. What happened to you?
Oh,
Okay,
God.
well, you have an issue.
No, taking a breath. I saw it was in a lot of movies.
Cool, so did I.
But then I was like, Cannon Beach, or we're like, oh, in surrounding areas.
I think it mostly is kind of like Ecola State Park is kind of where...
Ecola?
What do you call it?
No, what did you say earlier?
Eola.
Let's go.
Hey, what's my name?
Burma Shave.
So, filming around Cannon Beach and Ecola State Park, which is the name of a state park in Cannon Beach.
Yes.
So they filmed Goonies, parts of Goonies there. They
Free
filmed
Willy.
Kindergarten Cop. Twilight. Apparently,
Oh, yeah.
they filmed some Twilight scenes in Ecola State Park.
Yeah, apparently the surfing scene where the werewolf.
Werewolf? Your mother just came out of your mouth.
I am like choking over here.
I see that.
Where Jacob tells Bella that
Your head is moving in an unnatural way.
Something about Edward. Anyway, we're gonna have to have like a rewatch. Apparently,
I never ever want to rewatch Twilight ever.
All right, what else?
You imprinted on my daughter.
All right, what else?
God, I can only play baseball, America's pastime, during a thunderstorm. What's that sound? Is it thunder?
See,
No,
I
it's
really-
vampires.
I really set him off, didn't
Because
I?
they're so strong. Okay, the thing that I thought was funny was that it also filmed the ending scene of Point Break with Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze
I don't know it.
in the 1991 film Point Break. So basically, Patrick Swayze is like a prolific robber, thief, but he also is like he's also a surfer. And Keanu Reeves like learns to surf, but maybe also it's like vaguely homoerotic on accident.
So you were like, "Oh, this is funny that they ended the film here."
So in the film, they go to Australia.
Oh.
They don't actually go to Australia. They filmed the beach and surrounding scenes on Indian Beach a part of Ecola State Park
Got
in
it.
Cannon Beach. But then when they're out in the water, the waves are Hawaii.
Oh.
So they were like, yeah,
Well, yeah.
those two things together and you get Australia.
Perfect.
But I had read something from on PDX Monthly where it was like interviewing somebody and they're like, yeah, they probably meant for Point Break to just be a film made for like Californians. And so they wanted to give it like an exotic flair. So they're like, oh, we'll film it in Oregon because there's not really many places in the world where it's just like forest, beach.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where some of the final scenes are done there.
Cool.
So cool. So yeah, I think things like that probably have inferred how people view Cannon Beach. Like, oh, it's so quality. It's good enough for Hollywood.
I mean, and you kind of wonder, not that I want to bring up Manzanita again, but when we were at a city council meeting there and it was a big to-do for these people from Hollywood came up and they wanted to film a pilot.
Stadies.
And it was
never was picked up.
It was never picked up, but
My
it was
God.
like, everyone was like, ooh, I don't know, because it's going to change change the town, da-da-da-da-da. Anyway, so maybe because something was, Cannon Beach was like, sure, come and film. And then once you say yes, then maybe other people are coming and filming. And that's why there's multiple movies that have been filmed there. But anyway, nice.
So that's Cannon Beach. So yeah, so we do have a decent amount of knowledge. I mean, again, this place is only an hour away, but we never really spend
the night.
We never really spend the night. We always drive home. But I just think in terms of we never really stay any discernible length of time. I feel like if we go to other beachy towns nearby, we stay a lot longer. I always kind of feel like we're in and out oftentimes in Cannon Beach.
But that's not true. We did spend the night in Cannon Beach with my grandparents.
Oh,
I forgot about that. There was it was like a timeshare thing that their friends.
Your grandparents who were in their mid-90s at this point.
Had these other friends that were in their 90s that were
mid-90s.
Yeah, we got it. They bought us a room because we drove them up there. They were meeting friends that were coming from Washington to stay. And I don't know, our room was fine, but my grandparents' room was having a problem. And the toilet was overflowing. They had just dropped their bags off. And then the people that were working there were like, nope, your grandparents were just flushing a bunch of soap down the toilet and you clogged it with
all this bars of soap.
All these bars wrapped in plastic soap. Anyway,
and your grandparents are very classy people. The last thing that would go into that toilet would probably be some of that soap, but there's another joke there.
I don't know. It was a really bizarre situation, so they got a different room. And I don't remember us walking around in Cannon Beach, but
not really.
We've had some nice dinners in Cannon Beach, and there's just, things.
You did have a
fluctuate.
very bad espresso martini.
I had the worst espresso martini in Cannon Beach.
But the vibe was good.
Oh, the vibe was great. It was really cute. We played a board game.
Yeah, we played Ticket to Ride.
That you brought.
And I won.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't think I won.
He probably won. Okay. Anything else you want to say about Cannon Beach?
I would like to say that Cannon Beach made me realize I dislike the taste of amaretto.
Oh,
because
on that coffee shop
on our first anniversary, again, I'm not going to name the coffee shop, but I wanted some.
Yeah, they don't need any free pub. They're fine.
I wanted an emotional connection with this coffee shop, with this roastery. I just needed that, and so I don't know. People love it. I went on their about page and thinking that I'd learn anything discernible about them or why they're roasting coffee or anything at all. But their about section in this time, it could have changed. I haven't looked it up in literally years. Mm-hmm. But it was warm, sunny days, dark, stormy coastal nights. That's why we roast coffee. And I was like, what are you talking about? Get out of here.
I know.
There was also a hardware store. There was also a brew pub. That was fun.
Anyway, but this coffee shop.
It was our anniversary.
They made you a mocha, and it was they asked if you wanted whipped cream, and they had made it. And they were really excited about it.
No, it was
it
was their special.
Right.
It was one of their specials. And so I was like, yeah, I'll go for a special flavor.
Anyway,
it's special.
Jordan cannot handle amaretto.
Well, I guess I just dislike almond extract also. Because I don't think they put amaretto in it, but It was just like
It's almond
that
extract.
sweet, almondy, vaguely cherry type flavor. I was like, I don't like this. I don't like it. It's medicinal.
Oh my God.
Okay. If and when we drive like 55 minutes north of where we're sitting right now, what would you like to do in Cannon Beach?
I'd like to see.
A whale.
I want to walk the length of Cannon Beach,
Like the whole thing? Like the beach or like the city streets?
the beach.
So you want to start. Do you need to get like a survey team to be like, this is actually where Cannon Beach starts?
It would be fun to go at low tide and see if the volunteers are there.
We've got like a
Get some
couple
info.
more months to do that.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
What about you?
I'd like to go to that museum and see like one of the cannons that
Yeah.
Cannon Beach got its name for. I will always call it Cannon Beach now that I know that it's called Cannon Beach because there are cannons on the beach. It just makes it so much better.
It just makes sense.
It just makes sense. Yeah, I think I'd love to go see another good show.
I thought that too. I'd like a redo.
But also I looked at like their upcoming schedule and I was like, I know. Probably go see our friend and maybe make him like have some more like relationship with Cannon Beach. I mean, his friend and his like old neighbor / landlord like would go on like these walks into Ecola State Park. I'd probably like to explore Ecola State Park more.
Yeah.
I mean,
think
that's like, the walk that we went on, and I think we went to like Crescent Beach or something. That was really pretty.
so beautiful. Just stupid beautiful.
So beautiful.
Oh my God. I mean, yeah, if you take anything away, it's beautiful.
But see,
It's
I don't.
true.
I feel like it's a cop out being like, yeah, it was really nice.
But whatever. I mean, it's like something to experience. I'm not telling you to stay there.
I mean, it's definitely worth it to check it out, and definitely let us know if you also think it has that theme park feel to it.
Man.
Well, I guess we probably better get going because it's not going to be this when you listen to it, dear Explorer, but tonight is our opening night for our community theater performance of Clue.
Okay, so we're going to try to do it so that people can't. Well, actually, they're not going to leave because guess what? There's no intermission. Ha
Yeah,
ha.
yeah. Well, I guess they could just get up and leave.
They could.
But I will not be smoking on the curb.
All right, fine,
I'm
Little John.
I'm gonna be doing something way harder.
You're going to be smoking it on the stage.
Oh,
Whatever that means.
Because I'm smoking hot on
yeah,
the stage.
That's what I meant.
They put our images through AI to like modify us. You didn't get modified much, but I look like a different person.
Yeah, no, Jordan looks funky. Like something's not right.
Yeah, like my nose is kind of bulbous. Like I got a big nose, but like there's something extra bulbous about it, and I have like creases on my face.
Extra like wrinkles. We're like, what are we doing?
Like I have like a really intense like I don't know Lex Luthor like forehead going on.
We sent the picture to our friend in Belgium, and she's like, are you that person?
I'm like, clearly I am. Like, and it's bad that she has to question it.
Oh my God.
Well, explorers, thank you so much for coming with us on this trip to Cannon Beach. We, I think, begrudgingly can respect it a little more.
It felt good to clear the air. I mean, yeah, I wasn't sure how it was going to go, but
yeah,
it was
me
good.
either.
It
Yeah,
was
it's
good.
good. So, friends, if you have your own Cannon Beach story or another story about any place you've ever gone to, please, we would love to feature it on a future episode. You can send it in to explorergonianspodcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram at explorergonians.podcast. There's no .com because that's just how that type of internet thing works. You can also type it up, send it to us, and Katie or I could read it with the sweet timbre of our voices.
So sweet.
So sweet. Do you think we're going to be hoarse for like tonight's show because we've been talking so much?
Probably. And then after the show, they want to do an after party for at karaoke, and I'm like, you guys, what?
Karaoke in Tokyo, Japan. It's a joke. You can laugh.
It's a joke, isn't it, Dad?
Katie, my dear sweet love, my lawfully wedded wife. I don't know, is
Yes.
that proper? Where do you want to go next week?
Next week, I want to go to Laurel, Mississippi.
My God, are you subservient to HGTV?
I was, and I had us go out of our way to go to Laurel, and yeah, it was interesting to just be in Mississippi. So let's talk about it.
Hey, MISSISSIPPI.
I just learned how to spell that. Green and yellow, green and yellow.
What are you trying to make a University of Oregon reference?
What?
What?
No.